In the middle of the flight, Darcy heard the captain of the airplane say her name over the public address system. He was asking for her and her boyfriend, Jesser, to make their way to the front of the plane, but she couldn't for the life of her think why. Then she noticed that her boyfriend's hands were sweaty and he was shaking. Something was very seriously up. When Captain called couple to the cockpit, the male passenger's hands just wouldn't stop shaking. The story starts in Las Vegas in Nevada, home to Darcy and Jesser, a young couple very much in love. The lovebirds decided they needed a trip to get away from it all, and so they made a plan to fly to the city of Portland in Oregon for a romantic mini break one weekend in May 2017. The couple had never visited Portland before, so they were excited for their little holiday and looking forward to all the new memories they would make together. Little did they know, but for Darcy and Jesser this would be a trip they would never forget. Before they knew it, it was time for them to board their Southwest Airlines flight to Portland. The Vegas to Portland flight was smooth, and the girlfriend and boyfriend sat chatting in their middle and aisle seats, enjoying drinks despite Darcy wanting to nap. But soon everything was about to change and sleep would be impossible. When someone came along the aisle and tapped Jesser on the shoulder, it was clear something was afoot. It was then that they heard the captain's voice over the loudspeaker. He had a special message for all the passengers. But he wasn't announcing that the plane was coming in to land or that they might experience some turbulence. It was a totally different kind of message altogether. He was asking the girlfriend and boyfriend to come down to the front of the plane. Darcy thought that perhaps the couple were about to receive some kudos for being loyal customers of Southwest Airlines. But it would prove to be much more serious than that. At this point, Jesser's palms began to really sweat. Darcy was utterly baffled as to why they had been called up to the front of the plane. But it was all about to become crystal clear. The next thing she saw was her boyfriend grabbing the microphone with a shaking hand and beginning to nervously address the entire plane. Jesser then looked at Darcy and she heard him say something truly heartwarming. He said he loved her, cared for her, and that he couldn't see his future without her. All of a sudden Darcy got an inkling as to what this was all about, but she was still astonished when he dropped to one knee. The emotion of the moment overwhelmed Darcy, and soon her eyes began to well up with tears. With a hand over her mouth in shock, she looked down at her boyfriend who was holding out a ring. "It would be an honor if you would be my wife," he said, to which she replied excitedly, "Yes. Yes. Yes." And just like that, she gained a fiancé. And it was all done thousands of feet above the western seaboard and for the in-flight entertainment of a plane load of passengers and crew. The cabin staff promptly gave the newly betrothed couple a bottle of champagne to celebrate, wishing them all the best for the future. That's not bad for customer service. But it turned out that Southwest Airlines was actually far more involved in the proposal plans than Darcy first assumed. It all started 24 hours before the flight to Portland when a very nervous Jesser emailed Southwest's corporate headquarters in Dallas, Texas. The young man knew what he wanted to do, but no idea about how to go about it or what he should say. With less than a day before they were due to travel, Jesser wasn't convinced that he'd get a fast enough response. But due to the unusual nature of his email, a Southwest employee called Derek replied quickly, saying that he would be only too glad to help. It's not every day a customer writes saying he wants to propose to his girlfriend in mid-air. So Derek set about liaising with various other Southwest employees in the couple's Las Vegas hometown, the Portland destination and the company's Dallas HQ, in the hope of organizing a flight they would all remember forever. Not only that, but he also gave the jittery Jesser some advice on how to frame the proposal. So just before it was time for the couple to board the Portland flight, there was only one thing left for Jesser to do. Excusing himself, he left his girlfriend alone in the airport for a brief moment while he called her parents to request their permission for him to ask for Darcy's hand in marriage. They said yes, and the couple embarked on the flight with a relieved Jesser, having secured parental blessing. Thanks to Derek's outstanding organizational skills, all the crew were aware of the couple's story and the impending proposal. One of them even said, "It's him. He's our special man," as Jesser stepped on board the flight, luckily in a different boring group to his girlfriend. Remember that tap on the shoulder Jesser received in his aisle seat mid-flight? It was all part of the elaborate plan both crew and boyfriend were all in on. The shoulder tap was a signal from one of the cabin staff that he should prepare himself just before the captain was about to come onto the speaker system. Then just before the couple walked down to the front of the plane, one of the air stewards surreptitiously took the engagement ring box from the boyfriend, while another took his smartphone in order to capture the special moment on its camera. Working like a well-oiled machine, they managed to do all of this just in time. When the nervous boyfriend with sweaty palms finally got to pop the question to his utterly confused girlfriend, the flight attendant handed the ring box back, so he had everything he needed to propose properly. Most marriage proposals are just a special moment shared between two people, but this one really was a team effort. Darcy and Jesser took off from Las Vegas that day as girlfriend and boyfriend, but landed in Portland later as fiancé and fiancée, and it was thanks in no small part to some excellent work by Southwest employee Derek pulling the strings in the background. But the fun didn't stop there. After the weekend was over, Darcy and Jesser flew back into Las Vegas to be greeted by a huge congratulatory banner, courtesy of Southwest Airlines representatives. Not only that, but the happy couple was also given a special goodie bag, including flowers, champagne and a signed crew poster. The grateful husband-to-be said, "I now have a fiancé and will always be thankful to Southwest for turning my vision into a reality." Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.